This podcast is sponsored by the online course, Intro to Psychology, with Dr. Bo Bennett, PhD. Uncover the secrets of the human mind and transform your life at introtopsych.com. Start your journey today.
Understanding Social Influence, Key Psychological Effects Explained. Intro to Psychology. Discover how social influence shapes our thoughts and actions with insights into conformity, obedience, and groupthink in an engaging psychology one-to-one style. How social influence shapes the way we think and act. Hey, have you ever noticed how sometimes you do things just because everyone else is doing them? Maybe you laugh harder at a joke when others are laughing, or you find yourself agreeing with a group opinion even if you're not 100% sure you really agree. That's social influence at work, and it has some pretty fascinating psychological effects. As a psychology professor, I've spent a lot of time looking into this, and it's honestly one of the most interesting areas in Intro to Psychology. Social influence touches on so many psychological concepts: conformity, obedience, group dynamics, and even persuasion, all of which are crucial if you want to understand how human behavior is shaped in real life. Let me break it down for you in a casual way, kind of like I would when explaining it to a friend. Social influence refers to the ways people change their behavior to meet the demands of a social environment. It's not just about peer pressure, although that's a big part of it, but also about subtle ways our thoughts, feelings, and actions get molded by others. Why do we conform? One of the key psychological theories related to social influence is conformity. This is basically when you change your behavior to match a group. The classic experiments by Solomon Asch in the 1950s really showed us how powerful conformity can be. In his studies, participants were shown lines of different lengths and asked to match them, but the catch was that everyone else was in on it and purposely gave the wrong answer. What's wild is that more than 1/3 of the participants went along with the obviously wrong answer, just because everyone else did. That says a lot about our natural drive to fit in, which psychologists believe comes from a basic human need for social acceptance, obedience, and authority. Then there's obedience, which is another fascinating piece of social influence. Stanley Milgram's famous experiments are a prime example where people followed orders to administer what they believed were electric shocks to another person, simply because an authority figure told them to. This shows how authority can override our personal morals, causing us to behave in ways we might not independently choose. It's a little scary when you think about it, how strong the psychological pull from someone in a position of authority can be. Groupthink and decision-making. Groupthink is another social influence psychological effect that happens when the desire for harmony or conformity in a group leads to irrational or dysfunctional decision-making. People tend to suppress dissenting opinions or ignore alternatives to maintain consensus, often resulting in poor outcomes. This happens a lot in workplaces, politics, and even in social circles. What's interesting is that being aware of this psychology one-to-one concept really helps people recognize when groups are heading toward risky decisions simply because they don't want to rock the boat. Social influence beyond peer pressure. When most people think of social influence, they probably first imagine peer pressure, say teen smoking or trying something risky just to fit in. But social influence extends far beyond that. It plays a key role in advertising, politics, online behavior, and basically every social interaction. Take persuasion, for example. Marketers use principles from psychology theories like reciprocity and scarcity to get you to buy stuff or support causes. Even social media platforms leverage social proof, those likes and shares, to influence what you think and do. How understanding social influence helps us. Knowing about these psychological effects can be empowering. When you understand the forces of conformity, obedience, persuasion, and groupthink, you start to see moments when you're acting under their influence. Maybe you become less likely to simply follow the crowd and more likely to make decisions based on your own genuine beliefs. For those curious about exploring this topic further, the Intro to Psychology course by Dr. Bo Bennett on the verversity.com platform has great lessons covering these and many other psychology topics in an easy-to-understand format. It's an excellent resource for anyone who wants to get a solid grounding in psychological concepts, whether you're new to the subject or just want a refresher. Enroll now to understand human behavior. This course will equip you with the knowledge to navigate social dynamics smartly and critically. Whether it's for personal growth, your career, or just satisfying curiosity, understanding social influence is a key piece of the puzzle, Here's the link once more, https://www.introtopsych.com, wrapping it up. So next time you catch yourself going along with the crowd or feeling pressure to do something just because everyone else is, know that you're experiencing social influence, one of the most fundamental psychological phenomena out there. It's part natural human tendency, part environmental pressure, and part learned behavior. By becoming more aware of these psychological concepts, we gain a little more freedom in how we respond and make choices, and that's a pretty powerful thing. Thanks for hanging out and chatting about this today. I hope this gave you some interesting insights into how our minds work in social settings. Until next time, keep questioning those social cues.